Now that you've studied all the four arithmetic operations of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, a question to ask is order of operations. So what happens when all the operations appear in the same expression? How do we decide what to do first? So mathematicians have a convention on how to read and the order in which to evaluate the arithmetic operations so that no matter who reads it, the answer is always the same. So the convention of operations is to read the problem left to right and use the mnemonic device PEMDAS, which you can think of as please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, which dictates the following order of evaluating multiple operations in a complicated expression. The P stands for parentheses first. So anytime you have an operation and you have parentheses, you first simplify everything that's within the parentheses. And that's not just parentheses, the brackets that you normally see, but it can also include any grouping symbol like the radical symbol, the numerator or denominator of a fraction, or absolute value. The next thing you do is evaluate all exponents, which means evaluated bases raised to exponents, which include fractional exponents, which is radicals. And then multiplication or division, so always left to right in whichever order they appear. And then addition, subtraction, also left to right as they appear. So let's just take some examples. Remember, it's important to have this convention because otherwise, how do you know whether you do 2 plus 3 first or whether you do 3 times 5 first? So remember what we said, left to right first, there are no parentheses. So now the next thing you do is multiplication and division. So read left to right and all the multiplication divisions as they appear first. So 2 plus 3 times 5. So we're going to have to do 3 times 5 first, and then the minus 10. So let's rewrite it. So it'll be 2 plus 15 minus 10. All right, now again, left to right, addition, subtraction as they appear. So we'll do 2 plus 15 first. So that'll be 17, and then the minus 10, which will give me the 7. All right, what do you think we're going to do here? Why don't you give this a shot? Assuming you've come back from pausing the video, remember, parentheses first, but there are no parentheses. Exponents next. So that means we're going to evaluate 3 to the second first. So let's do that. So that'll be 3 times 3 or 9. Then we want to go from left to right, multiplication, division first as they appear from left to right. So 20 divided by 4 is the first division, so that will be evaluated first. 20 divided by 4 will give us the 5. 5 times 3 next, and then the minus 2 plus 9. So 5 times 3 will give me 15. We'll do 15 minus 2 next, which will give me 13, and then the plus 9 will give me 22. So again, pay very careful attention to all of the order of operations we're doing here. All right, try this on your own. It's very important that you look at these two. Look at the difference. They all have the same numbers and operations, except this one has the parentheses and this one does not. Look at how it changes what is evaluated first. So in this one, left to right, which operation are you going to do first? You're going to do the multiplication first. Whereas in this one, because there's a parenthesis here, you're going to do the parentheses first. So here you're going to have 2 minus 20 plus 3. Whereas here you'll have negative 3 times 4 plus 3. Look at the difference between those two. Do you see how the parentheses made a difference? All right, so now 2 minus 20, which will be what? Negative 18 plus 3, which will give you negative 15. Here you're going to have to do negative 3 times 4, which would be negative 12, plus the 3, which will give you negative 9. So again, the parentheses made a difference in how we evaluated it, even though they were same numbers and operations. All right, let's try that one. Looks like I already circled what you have to do first. Oh, that was an accident. Okay, that's okay. So 3 minus 2 squared, that's in parentheses, bracket squared, plus 5. Remember, parentheses first. So we're going to have to evaluate the parentheses first. In the parentheses, reading left to right, exponents first. So 2 squared, I'm going to evaluate first. So that'll be 3 minus 4 bracket squared plus 5. So that will give you parentheses first will give you negative 1 squared plus 5. Negative 1 squared will give me 1. And 1 plus 5 is 6. All right, let's try this next one. Remember, the square root symbol, which is the radical symbol, is as if you had a parenthesis. So parentheses first, so inside first. And then inside you have exponents, so you're going to have to do exponents first. So 2 squared is 4, 3 squared is 9, so 4 plus 9 is 13. So square root 13. Remember, we did not do square root of 2 squared plus square root of 3 squared because exponents do not distribute over addition or subtraction. Please remember that. All right, now what? That looks kind of interesting, doesn't it? So 2/3 plus 5 divided by 5 squared minus 4. Remember, 2/3 plus 5 is the same as 2/3 plus 5 over 1. Left to right, numerator by itself and denominator by itself. So you're going to have 2/3 plus 15/3, and the bottom is 25 minus 4. 17/3 divide by 21. You already saw division, so 17/3, the 21 is the same as writing 21 over 1. So we have 17/3 divided by 21 over 1. So you would do 17/3 times the reciprocal, and then multiply numerators, denominators. See if there are any like terms that you can cancel out, which there are none. So 17 over 63 would be your answer. All right, let's take a look at this example. Again, numerator, denominator. So we'll evaluate the numerator, the denominator, and then do the division. So to add the numerator, to make a common denominator would be 15. So multiply this one by 5, this one by 3, this one by 3, this one by 5. So it's as if you had two separate problems and then you're putting them together. So 10 15ths plus 3 15ths, which is 13 15ths. And this will be 12 15ths minus 10 15ths, or 2 15ths. And now what? Multiply by the reciprocal. The 15 will cancel each other out and give you 13 halves, or 6 1/2. There is an alternative method sometimes people do, and that is to look at across all the fractions, the common denominator, and multiply both numerator, denominator by 15 over 1. So using the distributive property then, 2/3 times 15 over 1 plus 1/5 times 15 over 1. Here you will get 4/5 times 15 over 1 minus 2/3 times 15 over 1. And then multiply those left to right. So add this. You're going to have to, 3 goes into 15 5 times. 5 goes into 15 3 times. Do the same here. So we have 5. So 2 times 5, 10. 1 times 3 is 3. 4 times 3 is 12. 2 times 5 is 10. And then that will be 13 halves, or 6 1/2. Same answer, but different, slightly different methods. You can choose which method you like and continue in that manner. All right, what do you think happens here? Remember, numerator by itself, denominator by itself. So in the numerator, parentheses first. In the parentheses, then you're going to have to do 3 times 2 first, which is 6. So 6 minus 4. 3 squared first, so that'll be 9 minus 4, and then 2 times 5, which is 10. 6 minus 4 is 2. 2 squared will give me 4. So negative 7 plus 4. 9 minus 4 is 5 plus the 10. So you have negative 7 plus 4 over 15, or negative 3 15ths, which we can reduce as negative 1/5. So negative 1/5 is your final answer. So remember, order of operations, if you are just patient and remember what to do first. Remember, parentheses first, exponents next, multiplication, division next, and addition, subtraction after that. All right, let's try that. So this absolute value symbol acts like a parenthesis, so you'll have to do what's inside the absolute value first. So 5 minus 8, which will give you -3. So 3 times absolute value -3 minus 12. Absolute value of -3 will be what? 3. So this will be 3 times 3 minus 12, and that will give you 9 minus 12, or -3. All right, try these on your own.